Hey guys, I'm here today to talk about a little bit about movement biases. Every individual built extremely different from one another. We all look differently, right? Our bodies act differently. They go hand in hand, okay? Um, what you need is a coach who's going to be able to identify the kind of bias that you have, that your body wants to, the way that your body wants to move, and then apply drills and teachings that will help your particular movement style. Okay, and just a couple ones that stick out pretty glaringly are um, like pronation and supination bias in your arm. Your most people are well, actually, there's no most people. You're either biased to pronate or you're biased to supinate. Okay, and that's why some people can naturally throw a really good breaking ball, while others have a really nasty changeup, but they struggle with the breaking ball. Okay, people who throw the breaking ball well naturally are likely natural supinators. Their arm wants to move this way. As it comes, it does not turn over, it stays on the supination side of the baseball, essentially, right? Let me get a baseball. So that's why, like a lot of supinators, you see them like sinker slider guys type of thing because they release the baseball here on the fastball or even here as opposed to boom. And that's the only difference, right? Is the people who are more dominant in pronation, they are able to get on top of their fastball more. And that is a sign of somebody who is more dominant of a pronator than supinator. They'll get good high ride on their fastball and they'll likely easily throw a pretty good changeup. Like a guy like Spencer Strider, one of the best fastballs in the league. He's hurt now, but when he's healthy, he has a pronation bias, and that's what allows him to throw that fastball so well. And it's hard to hit, right? Where you look at a guy like, let me think for a quick second. Tanner Houck for the Red Sox. I'm a Red Sox fan, right? Nasty sweeper, nasty sweeper, and a little bit more like sink or run on his fastball, right? And that's because he does not pronate enough, and that's okay, right? Like it's all about maximizing how the body wants to move. That's the goal, okay? And Tanner Houck is a good example of that. If he tried to throw a good four seam fastball, it would probably look like a dead zone straight heater. Like it's not going to have that ride through the zone that you're looking for. It's just going to look like it comes in right down the middle. And so yeah, I gotta take a break. I have a supination bias as well. I naturally always threw the breaking ball pretty well, where I couldn't really figure out the changeup too well. It was more difficult for me, at least. I needed to work a little harder on my changeup, and the breaking ball sort of came naturally. And another thing to think about when we're talking about biases, right? So pronation and supination bias can also likely be attributed to um, which of these two fingers are we dominant with? Like these two right here. If I was to pinch somebody, would I pinch them like this or would I pinch them like that with my pointer finger? For me, it would be my middle finger, which suggests supination. Okay. For others, people who have a good fastball or naturally have a nice changeup, they would be more inclined to pronating. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So the pronators would be more inclined to pinch people with their pointer finger, okay? Because they can apply pressure fast and hard through their pointer finger. Where me, it's different. I'm middle finger. And it definitely affects the way you release the baseball because you can see my arm wants to move differently based on what finger I want to apply pressure to, right? So the the muscles and tendons from your digits run all the way down into your forearm up through your elbow. So how you apply pressure in your fingers certainly impacts how the baseball comes out of your hand, right? Anything else there for? So that's really your pronation and supination bias. It could also be attributed, sorry, to finger dominance. Which finger are we more dominant with? And then another type of uniqueness that we see that will vary from pitcher to pitcher is whether you're internally or externally dominant in your hips. Um, if you're externally dominant, that means your knee is stronger when it is, well, externally rotated, right? Essentially, does your body want to externally rotate in the knee, or does it want to be internally rotated in the knee, right? And for those who are internal rotators, typically you want to be not tip well, there's no umbrella teachings, right? Like, but what I think about is, do I want to be a tall and fall guy, right? Like, internally dominant hips, you don't have to load as much, essentially, right? There's less slack before we hit that like tension spot. So we don't need to work as hard really to build up all that external tension. Um, so you would dropping and driving for somebody who's internally dominant in their hips would likely just cause a bunch of leakage. They would not be transferring energy efficiently. Likely. I mean, things are always different, but um, internal rotators in their hips are likely to be tall and fall guys because they don't do as well in that drop and drive technique. What you need in a coach is somebody who's going to be able to identify um, your body biases, the way that your body wants to move, and then apply training in accordance, right? Because everybody out there is different. Somebody who is looking to identify the way that your body wants to move because of your natural biases, the way that your body is built and the way that it wants to move. Okay, so you need somebody to identify those biases and then apply trainings and teachings that will help in accordance to those biases, because not every drill is going to be beneficial for everybody. And everybody is actually incredibly different in the